Hi, my name's Stuart and I'm from Mr. T Does Primary History. This video is going to be a step-by-step run through on how to conduct this historical inquiry. It can be completed by anyone and the important parts going to be explored as part of this video. You're welcome to watch the video in one go or piece by piece as you move through the stages of the inquiry. Make sure you listen out for the key historical skills and concepts so that you understand what the facts are, but also how it ties into studying history. So, let's get started. Here is our inquiry question. How has home life changed within living memory? Our focus is going to be on life at home and how it has changed within living memory. Before we get on with that, we need to unpick the key concepts and ideas that we need to work with. What does living memory mean? You can see a timeline with coloured bars that helps explore this. It's events that can be remembered by people that are alive today. If no one can remember it actually happening, it's beyond living memory, which has a longer duration. It's beyond living memory, and by a long way. It only stops the end of the timeline because I'd run out of screen. Think about what you've studied at school so far. What is within living memory? Events like the space race between Russia and the USA? The lives of people like Queen Elizabeth II and Tim Peake are within living memory. Those in the further past are beyond. They can be single events like the Great Fire of London, or entire periods of history like ancient Greece, Rome, or the Stone Age to Iron Age. This is a timeline for a family. Your family may very well be different, but there will be similarities. The scale of the timeline at the top of the screen has changed as it represents a shorter duration of time. Remember though, beyond living memory is much longer. In red is the child's living memory. What do you notice? It's short, isn't it? And that's because they are the youngest member of this family. The purple bar is longer because their parents are older. This means that their living memory is longer because they have lived for a longer duration of time. Grandparents and great-grandparents have longer living memories again because they have been alive for even longer. Now that we have our chronological outline, we can think about the skills and concepts we are going to be making use of. The first is continuity and change. This is the most important concept we will be thinking of because it is where we look at continuities, which means continues or remains the same, and then what changes over time. There may be aspects that stay mostly the same but change a little bit. These are interesting to look at in further detail if you can. Significance is a concept that you may want to think about in your conclusion. It's essentially which change was the most important and impacted the most lives. Think about the number of people it impacted and how much their lives changed as a result. We're also going to be gathering evidence, which is really important for history too, but more on that in a while. So, let's get started. So, stage 1. What are my initial ideas? Before starting, can you think of any ways that life may have changed? It might be because of technology, a brand new idea or achievement. How could life have stayed the same? I wonder why that may have been the case. Remember, we are only thinking within living memory, so that's about 80 years, so nowhere near the Roman, Egyptian or Saxon periods. This is really similar to a prediction when reading or before investigating something in science. Once you've got down your initial ideas, it's time to start gathering the evidence. We can't just dive in and start gathering random facts. That won't help us find out the answer. This is a great chance to speak to people, especially in your family. You could phone, Skype, email or FaceTime them. Make a list before starting and try and get people with different ages if you can. We can also use books and the internet to help us research. The BBC are great for this. There is no way we can research every change in home life because there would be too much to find out. I'd pick 2 or 3 to explore in detail. Before you speak to anyone, think of the questions you could ask. Make sure you ask everyone the same questions so it's easy to compare the answers. Also, it's a good idea to have someone with you to help take notes and write down the answers too. Once you've done that, get researching. This will take the most time, so it's a good idea to do it over a couple of days. Hopefully, you've got lots of evidence now that will help you answer the inquiry question. We're going to look for continuities and changes. Remember, that's what stayed the same and what changed. You could colour code your notes by underlining all the changes in one colour and continuities in another. Maybe it'd fit well in a table. The choice is yours. Try and think about what they tell us about life now and then. Is there one thing that caused lots of changes? Take your time looking at the evidence, as it will really help us understand how life has changed. Remember, history isn't just loads of facts, it's the story of people's lives, and it can tell us a lot. Last but not least, how can we present our findings? There is no right or wrong answer for this. It's a great chance for you to show off your skills. Art, computing, English, there are many choices. Try and make sure you include the following so that your answer fully explains your findings and completes the inquiry. An outline helps people that didn't take part in understand the process you followed. How did life stay the same? Can you offer thoughts as to why that might have happened? Then life has definitely changed. Look at those changes and try to think, which one has changed life the most? The important part is to explain yourself as clearly as you can. Then, make sure your final conclusion is clear. What are the key findings people should remember? Thank you for watching the video. I'd love to see the results of your inquiries and how creatively you can present your findings. Please feel free to like, share and comment. Thanks again, and see you soon, I hope.